Good afternoon.
Look, an emotional Oscar on the stand today. Take us through the crucial bits of the testimony so far.
Well, day 17 of this trial certainly provided the world at large with that big moment that everybody has been waiting for, and that is for the Paralympian Oscar Pistorius to take the stand in his own defense. And of course, he opened his testimony in a very, very touching and emotional way as he extended a very heartfelt apology towards the Steenkamp family, in particular to Riva Steenkamp's mother, June Steenkamp, who we saw also being in court today. He went by apologizing to the world at large and everybody else who he felt that has been touched by Riva Steenkamp's death. And of course, we saw him breaking down numerously today in court and him struggling to compose himself while being on the stand, trying to take us through his apology. It was a very, very touching moment that we witnessed today, but of course he tried very hard to keep it together, and as his advocate Barry Rue led him through his testimony.
Patricia, also on the stand this morning was pathologist Professor Jan Botha. Tell us why his evidence is so relevant at this point.
Well, if you would remember very clearly in the beginning of this trial, of course, when the state was leading, evidence and calling their witnesses, they had their own pathologist, and that was Professor Gert Simon, who took to the stand, who gave us his version of his pathology report that he had conducted after Riva Steenkamp was shot. So, of course, now that the defense is calling their witnesses and they leading evidence, they decided to, of course, call their own pathologist, who basically, if we had to summarize, disputed a whole lot of things that came out in the report of Professor Gert Simon. So we were expecting that this would happen. Of course, this is what the defense has to do throughout the trial. They have to, discredit what the state has brought forward in defense of the accused.
Patricia, in essence, this trial comes down to the quality of expert testimony on both sides?
Oh, certainly. We have seen a whole list of experts taking the stand, especially from the state side. And today, of course, the defense started calling their witnesses, with the first expert, of course, taking the stand, Professor Jan Botha. We expect a whole lot of them still to take the stand, but that does not rule out the evidence or the testimonies from the other witnesses who have taken the stand, such as the neighbors, such as the character witnesses, of course, Oscar Pistorius' friends and his ex-girlfriend, who also testified in favor of the state. But certainly there's still a long road ahead. And I think, as I said earlier, that big moment that everybody had been waiting for, the testimony of the Paralympian, him telling us in his own words what exactly happened on the morning of Valentine's Day last year that compelled him to ultimately shoot and kill his model girlfriend, Riva Steenkamp. We saw his advocate, Barry Rue, leading him through his testimony, taking us through a very detailed account of his childhood, trying to, show the court that he had a very difficult childhood growing up, and he has also, being part of several crime-related incidents that his family members had to go through, basically just trying to prove to us that he has a history with crime. He is paranoid, and, he is scared, and he has had numerous threats on his life, and also that he had a very difficult childhood growing up, and especially after losing his mother at the tender age of 15. But tomorrow, I think, would probably be the most interesting, when the state takes him on, when Advocate Gerunel will start his cross-examination, and we're expecting him to leave no stone unturned. He, of course, will have no mercy on Mr. Pistorius, as he will be taking him on the stand tomorrow.
Thank you, Patricia. The SABC's Patricia Visagie. Court proceedings adjourned till tomorrow morning, when we'll continue our live coverage of that trial. Moving on to other